All right, welcome to the Fifth Dimensional Academy of Higher Consciousness. Today is January 23rd. I'm broadcasting from Los Angeles, California. It's nice to see you all. I see some new faces. I'd like to welcome you. What we're gonna do is, I'm gonna have to mute everyone. We will do our meditation for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then after the meditation,
Oh, we got it. Oh, the sound is gone.
We can't hear you.
I'm unmuted. Sorry. Shishi, you need to mute everyone. Right. And then after our meditation is over, you're welcome to bring out any questions you have or any challenges that you're struggling with, and we'll go over that. For those of you who are new with me, because devices make funny noises, or sometimes there's noise in the background of your house, apartment, I have to mute everyone. But when we start after the meditation, you either raise your hand and I can unmute you and you can talk to me directly, or write to me on the chat box, and we'll go on from there. So for the moment, let's do a grounding meditation. And those of you who've done it with me before are familiar with this. So bear with me, I'm just gonna go over it one more time and we go from there. So I'm gonna ask you to stand up, and as you stand up, we're gonna imagine that from our root chakra, I'm gonna move my camera down. My Facebook Live, it just died out. It's not doing it. So from your root and your feet, you're gonna imagine that you have grown roots all the way to planet Earth. So you're like this big, thick tree, really grounded, and you have these deep roots in the planet. And as you breathe, with every breath you take, you breathe in and you're pulling energy, the healing energy of planet Earth. You can visualize this energy coming through your roots. You're sucking in the green light in a form of a green light. You're sucking it in as you breathe in. It comes in. As you breathe out, it goes out. It goes up. And it's coming in a form of a spiral. And it's coming from your roots. Okay? So you're this big, thick tree that is very well rooted in the planet. And you're breathing in and breathing out. And you're pulling the green light inside you, and the green light is going through all of your chakras, and it's going in the form of a spiral, and then it goes through your crown and it goes up into the sky. So you just visualize this one time or two times, and that's it. You set it up in that way. And don't worry about that you have to visualize it all the time. If you can't, don't get caught up on that. Just do it once or twice so you set this up. If you can do it more than once or twice, that's fine. And keep seeing it. Keep seeing this coming through and going up. So we're going to start doing it. And you may want to bend your knees. And bend them and just kind of squat, go up and down. So breathe in, breathe out, goes out. Okay, very good. Now, as we're doing this, so you're breathing in and out, I would like you to start to bounce up and down by bending your knees gently, going like this. And as you're breathing in and out, I would like to make this noise. This noise is like a power generator, generating energy. It's like when you can hear air conditioning or the sound of the heater. So this generator is running. So you're hearing this noise.
Gong.
Go up and down, and make the noise. Keep going up and down and make the noise. Take a deep breath and keep making noise and go up and down, up and down. Move your body unless you have problems with your knees, but just keep going up and down. Keep going up and down, keep making the noise. Keep going, keep going. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and stop. And now as you're breathing, take a deep breath and see the energy is coming through. What's going on? Do it again. You can even use your hands. Bring the energy up. Now take a deep breath and put your hands on your heart, your chest area. And you keep your attention on one point and keep breathing in and out. And as you're breathing in and out, just see that the green light, the healing energy of planet Earth, is traveling through your body, coming from your roots and spiraling all the way through all your chakras, and is going from your crown chakra back to the sky. And it's purifying you, it's cleansing you, it's clearing you. You're coming with clarity. And as you're breathing in and out, and your attention is on one point, you're focused on one pointedness, you can start to see the increase of energy. Yeah?
I deleted it, but I'm not sure how to put the other video on. Okay.
And now bring your attention on one point. Bring your attention on your third eye. Just keep your attention on one point. Just focus on one point. Like you're a samurai Jedi. You're a Zen master. You're the tiger, ready to attack. You're really focused. You're not making any noise. You're very still. You're ready to jump off of a branch of tree to catch your prey, and you're really focused. Your attention is on one point, and you're still and silent. And as you have your hands on your chest, you want to bring them up a little bit, give it a little distance between your chest and your hands. Now feel the energy in between, the energy that is surrounding you, your own energy field. And feel that with your hands. You're quiet, you're silent, no noise, no thoughts. Now you're welcome to go back to your seat. Stay in your silence. Keep your eyes closed after you sit down. And just stay in this place. Your attention is on one point. And that is the observer inside yourself. The observer. Your attention is on yourself, the observer. Not on how I feel, what I think. Simply your attention is on the one which is observing. You're focused on one point. And nothing else matters in this moment. And as you're just sitting comfortably, focused on one point, breathing naturally, without any stories or agendas, you begin to feel your expansion, that you're expanding, and you begin to go beyond your body and beyond any limitations, any physical limitations. All starts to disappear. Don't worry about your thoughts. Don't really be concerned with what you're thinking. It doesn't matter what your thoughts are. Leave them alone. Don't try to stop them. And don't give them any importance. You should be thinking in a certain way or certain thought. Doesn't matter what you think. You just keep your attention on one point. The one who notices thoughts, not what thoughts are, not that they should be there or not be there. You're simply your attention on the one who notices things, the one who witnesses things. Now gently, slowly, slowly come back to your waking state. And bring your meditation with you into your waking state. Don't leave the meditation behind. Don't leave it just in this place of sitting, closing your eyes. Now, as you open your eyes and come back, if you feel like it, you don't have to. Come back into waking state with your meditation, as if you are still meditating. Whether your eyes are open or not, if you still feel like staying in your meditation, that's fine, no problem. You may go back and forth. You may just open your eyes and feel like you want to go back into this place. This quiet space that nothing's going on. It's very tranquil, tranquility. This place that the mind is quiet, or you feel distant from it. It's calm, it's warm, it's comfortable, it's home. And slowly, slowly come back. What's so intriguing to me is that at any moment, no matter where you're at, what is going on in your life, what your environment is, who you're around, what you have and what you don't have, is that this space is available to you. And once you become familiar with this space, and you discover the pathway back to yourself, to tune in within yourself, you have practiced for a while and you've discovered this, then this space, which we're experiencing right now, becomes available to you, and it's there all the time. And it's not subject to anything. It's doesn't have any conditions. You literally, at any time, wherever you are, once you learn how to come back to this place, you can tap into it. You could be in the bus station, train station. You could be in the subway. You could be at a doctor's office. You're waiting. You can be somewhere very busy or quiet. You can be feeling well or not. You could be in a hospital bed, in the hospital, for example, and tap into this. Or you can be healthy or whatever. When you learn and discover this place within yourself, then you can see that it has no requirements. The requirements is, for example, I may say, okay, I need a quiet place to do this. But do you really need a quiet place to do this? Because once you discover it, you can do it in a very busy place and go back to this place and everything's quiet inside you, regardless of what's going on outside. And I'm sure some of you have experienced this before, but you can experience it for yourself. You can challenge yourself to go to places that are not conducive to meditation and do your practice. Sit in silence and sink into this place. And you will discover for yourself, because it doesn't matter what I tell you, you have to discover it for yourself, so you're convinced that this is possible and it's doable. But once you start to notice it, you will realize that it's a treasure hidden, a secret treasure hidden within yourself that is waiting to be discovered. And it goes with you wherever you go. I mean, this journey within, it's which basically, it's a lifetime journey that you're traveling in the inner world for those of us who have entered into the spiritual world, spiritual path, the path of realization and self-awakening. And it's like you went and bought a round-trip ticket to travel around the world. And you may be traveling with the plane, a boat, a ship, could be on foot, bicycle, you know, in a bus, in a train, whatever. You have this journey that you're going to go around the world, and maybe you do it for 1 year or more, and you have signed up for it. And the same thing, and you're going to have this journey in your inner world. Once you come to the spiritual path, once you start asking this question of yourself, who am I? Why am I here? What is life about? Then you have entered into, you've signed up, and you've buckled up. You're in the plane, it's getting off, and it starts. And that's going to be the rest of your life. You're on this journey. And as you're going deeper and deeper within yourself, you start to uncover different unknown secrets about yourself. You're starting to discover things about yourself, about the journey. There will be challenges. There will be bliss. There will be frightening discoveries about yourself that will scare the hell out of you. You're going to have to see your dark side, your light side. You're on this journey. You're traveling around the world. So you're going to find new things, new people, new friends, new cultures, new food, things you like, things you don't like, things that challenge you, things that pushes you out of your comfort zone, and things that make you comfortable and you love. Everything. Everything that possibly could be on a world tour traveling is in this journey within yourself. Check it out. Check it out for yourself. See if there is any validity in what I'm sharing with you or not. Look inside, look at your process and see from 10 years ago to now, 5 years ago, whenever you started it, 20 years ago to this point, how far you've gone and how much you've discovered about yourself. And see if it's exciting or not. Is it worth it to continue or not? How much have you learned about yourself? How much you've discovered your inner strength, things that you didn't know you had because you got challenged. Life challenges, life betrayals. You know how many times you've been betrayed? You've been lied to, or people you loved, they abandoned you or they left you. And then you were forced to look inside to find things. So every time you have to go deeper inside yourself to dig deeper for meanings of things and reaching out to your inner strength and facing things about yourself because your partner left you. Your parent, your mom, who you love more than anyone in the world, she died. Your best friend is gone. Your sister, your brother, somebody moved away to faraway land and it's not there anymore. Whatever. I'm just using this as an example. I'm not just talking about this particular thing, but look at the times that we get really challenged and we have to dig deep. Or you give up, or you become alcoholic and you go to, you become a boozer and you pick up the bottle and you're drinking and you're angry and you say life sucks and I can't trust anyone and it's all bullshit and you become bitter. So that's another path you go. But those of us who are not willing to go in a bitter path, we're not ready to give up. We don't go into the denial or blaming other people for what has happened to us. We're willing to take responsibility and we're willing to look at ourselves. That what is it I need to learn from this experience of being abandoned? My sweetheart, my love of life left me. He, she found somebody else and left me. Or got bored, or something happened, God forbid, and they died. Now, what is it I need to learn? Existence has given me life, has given me this challenge, put me in this situation. What is it I need to learn about myself? Because there are no mistakes in life. Existence operates in perfection. And don't take me wrong, I don't want to sound like I don't get challenged. I don't want to sound like I don't get frustrated. I don't want to sound like I don't get pissed off from things happening. I'm just like you. I feel the same thing. I get upset, I'm frustrated, I get impatient, I get angry, I feel betrayed, abandoned, and I just have to do exactly what you're doing. Look inside myself and see, what is this teaching for? What is it I need to learn from it? And only you know the answer. And the answer can be different between each and every one of us. And it can change from time to time. A lot of times could be patience. I'll use myself as an example. Patience. Zarathustra, patience, patience, patience. Be patient. Trust, trust, trust life. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna come together. It's gonna da-da-da-da-da-da. So you hit a wall, you hit a situation, and you're forced to look inside. Whatever. For you, it could be something different. In that moment, we're talking about moment. We're not talking about all of your life. It's going to be the same answer you need to look for. It changes all the time because it's an evolving thing. It's an infinite universe. and it's expressing itself in every moment. And everything changes continuously. But you go deep inside and you look and you see, okay, I really have a hard time being alone. I can't handle being alone. I have to have a partner with me all the time. I have to have some friends around me all the time. I have to have my kids around me. I have to have pets in my house because I cannot be alone. Because being alone frightens me, scares the hell out of me. And somehow existence takes my people that I'm dependent on away from me, or people betray me, or they turn their back to me, or whatever, or my pets die, or I lose them, or whatever is the situation. And I find myself in these situations that I'm lonely and alone. Okay, so what is it you need to learn? What is it you need to deal with? Okay, you need to deal with aloneness. All right, what is it in aloneness that scares you and triggers these feelings that you get? You go deeper inside. For example, I'm using this as an example, okay? Which this is pretty much every single human being on this planet is suffering from this very, very thing. It's the very root cause of the human suffering, this abandonment issues, that we all have been abandoned at one point or the other in our lives. And it's in the very, very back in your subconscious, it's there. And the moment that you're about to lose somebody or they're gonna leave you, all these root chakra fears are gonna come, they're gonna rise, because it's connected to your death, dying. So that's why when your partner, the person you're really connected with, and they hook up with someone else, or their energy goes towards somebody else, they're flirting with another man or woman, and they want to go on a date with someone else, or they're just somehow not so focused on you, you start going through all these emotional stuff of fear and feelings of being betrayed, and you've been cheated on, and anger and anxiety, and all this stuff starts to come up for you because the fear of being abandoned, being left out. And that goes all the way back to when you were born. It's the very first imprint, because at one point your daddy or your mom had to leave you somewhere in your bed and go answer the phone or cook or do something, and you got left out in very early age when you're completely dependent on the only two people you know in the world, because you're very helpless. You're 3 months old, you're 5 months old, you're 6 months old. There's nothing you can do. You can't protect yourself, you can't feed yourself, you can't speak. You're completely dependent on two adults that you know, if there are two, maybe one adult. Nowadays, there's one adult, if there is any, you know? There's this big movement that is really cool for a single mom to have a child. And mom is working, so mom's not even there most of the time. So we're gonna have some major abandonment issues more than ever in future, in newer generations. But anyway, so this two figures that are God figures for you, mom and dad, supposedly, assuming we have them. And you're completely dependent to them for everything, everything. And there are times they have to leave you somewhere to go take care of what they have to do. They can't just hold you all the time, 24/7, every day. So you're going to be experiencing your first imprint in your subconscious is abandonment, being left out. And that's going to be haunting you for the rest of your life. And if you pay attention, every decision you make in your life, once you notice this, every decision, vital decision you make in your life is based on this very thing. Not being left out. Not getting abandoned, not being lonely. Loneliness. So, in this journey of self-realization, you're journeying, you're traveling, you know, you're sitting on your space shuttle and you're traveling within yourself. You're going deeper inside yourself. And as you're going, and this is a part of it right now. For those of you who never knew this, what I'm sharing with you right now, how many of you for the first time, you heard it in the way I'm telling you? Raise your hand. Or you knew about this before, what I'm sharing with you. Okay. So, of this journey, like this, is for some of you, is the very first time that you heard this in this way. So now your attention is going to go on it, and you're going to start paying attention and look at it. Wow, I've been abandoned. So now you discover something new to look at that and to dig deeper into it and to notice it, which is going to liberate you. The more you look into it, the more you notice it, because now light is going to come. You know, you put a big flashlight on this hidden place, hidden thing, dark thing that was back there. You couldn't see it, and now you're putting light on it. And now you're starting to see it, and you're starting to pay attention that, oh my God. That's why every time my friends leave or I'm left out in the house by myself, I feel these weird things is that I have to pick up the phone to call somebody, or I need to go online and connect with someone, or I have to have someone around me, or I need to talk, keep talking to somebody. I can't be quiet because I get frightened if I'm quiet. I can't be alone hiking. I can't go on a road trip by myself for too long. I have to have someone around me all the time. And you start to notice it. And as you notice it, then healing starts to happen. Because now you're noticing it. The light is shining upon this issue. This deep imprint from childhood. It's been ingrained in our brains, in our head, in our psyche from childhood. And you start to notice it. And as you start to notice it, you begin to become free from it. Because if you're sincere and you're working on yourself and you're not in denial, then you start to see the problem. And you begin to deal with it. Means consciously, you put yourself in an alone situation, lonely, and you sit with this loneliness, and your body gets uncomfortable, and fear comes, and you get weird, but you don't run away. You stay with it, and you stay focused and you stay in your meditation and you allow the weirdness to happen to you, but you don't walk away. You don't try to numb yourself. You don't try to numb yourself with chocolate, with pizza, with alcohol, with drugs, with sex, with whatever you've been numbing yourself, watching movies, getting online. You stay in aloneness, in the weird feeling that is making you feel very uncomfortable, and you stay in it. And you do it again, and you do it again. And as you stay in it more and more, you start to see it has no power over you. Because you start to meet yourself. And you start to notice that you can never be alone. You're not alone. You're connected to the entire existence. Millions of angelic beings are around you. You are in company of the divine self all the time. Her Majesty, the Supreme Soul, the love of your life is in here with you all the time. And you begin to hear her voice. And slowly, slowly, these fears of aloneness and loneliness begin to disappear. And healing starts to happen. And you overcome the very root of your lifelong decision making, fear of loneliness. That we're desperately trying to fill up that gap no matter what. So desperately, we're not aware of it. So desperately, we need to fill up this gap. And we'll do whatever it takes to do it. Look at your life and check it out for yourself and see. You examine your life. You examine. How does it feel when your kids leave and go to school and they go to college and you left out? When your man or your woman goes away. Yeah, in the beginning, maybe for a few days, you're happy, you have your own space, but deeper, longer. Look at it that way and see what happens. See how you feel. So that is one of the things. There's many, many different things in this journey within this. As we go deeper inside ourselves, the discoveries that start to come, things we begin to discover. And your hidden powers, your hidden talents. I'm not just focusing on things that make us suffer. I'm also sharing with you things you discover about yourself. All of a sudden, you discover that what a beautiful person you are. You have so much love. You may discover that you have a talent for singing or writing or an artistic talent, or you have this knack that you didn't know you had because you never really dug deep inside yourself. You stayed on the surface. And now you start to find your talents. You start to find your purpose. And you return to love. Returning to love. Starting to develop self-love for yourself. And going beyond your own judgments of yourself. And the more you go beyond the judgments of yourself, the more you heal. The more mighty you become. because you begin to also realize who you really are. But it takes a willingness as someone who's willing to go beyond the surface. And those who know me, those of you who know me well enough, you know I'm not a surface guy. I'm not a guy who settles down for being on the surface. I'm deep, and I go deep. And that scares a lot of people. That scares the hell out of a lot of people. I've lost a lot of people. I've had a lot of people run away from me. Relationships, love relationships, friendship relationships, because I don't settle for the surface. And if there is some bullshit there, I get into it. Because I go deep. And that's what you should do. Go deep. And not settling down to stay on the surface. You start that with yourself. And the deeper you go, the more interesting. Yeah, it is scary. Of course it's scary. Because you have to face your own shit. You have to face your own stuff, your manipulation, you know? The cunning stuff the mind does. The appearance that we're spiritual and very loving, but we have an agenda in the back. I am so peaceful. I don't like to confront anyone or fight, but then inside me there is so much anger and rage. I'm very loving, but I hate myself. I hate the world. You have to face these things. But I encourage you to go for it. Because there is this diamond, there's this rare, beautiful diamond that is ever seen on the planet. And on the surface, yeah, it's not polished yet. And yeah, there is dirt on it and things, other rocks sticking to it and everything. But you start pulling off the dirt and the rocks and everything and starts polishing it, and it starts to shine more and more and becomes more vibrant and shiny. And that's inside you. That's who you really are. And this is what we're doing. It's a journey within ourselves. I actually designed a workshop which I'm going to be offering in Sweden for the first time. It's called Return to Love. Return of Love. What's the name of our workshop, Shishi?
Return to love, discover the hidden treasures.
Yes, return to love, discover the hidden treasures within yourself. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to go deep. It's not psychotherapy work, but it's to really go deep inside and unveil and uncover stuff to meet ourselves. It's a meeting of yourself, your divine self, your beauty. And yeah, you have to go through stuff to get there. Of course. Who said it? Nobody said it's easy. Life is not black and white. There's no formula like this or that. It's a lot more complicated. So you work it. You work it out. You've been doing it all your life. It's not the first time. You work it out. But it requires a willingness And that's the difference. Let me share this with you. The difference between spiritual seeker that is on the surface than the sincere spiritual seeker who wants to go deep and doesn't want to stop till she gets all the way to the end. There's a big difference. It's the willingness to commit and willingness to face fear and death. Facing fear and death. Are you willing to die, really? Are you willing to die on this path? Because parts of you is going to die, whether you like it or not. You're going to be like a snake shedding the old skin. And it's frightening. It's very, I can't imagine how frightening it must be to the worm, that the caterpillar that is becoming a butterfly. It must be like when it's going through that process of transformation of one part of the body is dying and the wings are opening up. You must be scared. You know? Can you imagine that? That up to now you've been a worm on the ground, and now all of a sudden all these weird stuff are happening to you. Yeah, you don't know what the hell is happening, and you're opening up wings. Yeah, after you open wings and it's done and you shed your old skin and you start flying, that's must be like, oh my God, very orgasmic, because it's liberating and freedom. But going through that transformation of shifting to it, oh my God, I can only relate to it from what has happened to me in my spiritual path of going through these transformations. Like there are times like, it's like you're just going crazy, you know? Like every cell inside your body is about to explode from inside out. It's like your insides. I've gone through periods that I felt like my intestines, everything is going to come out of my mouth, of going through intensity of the energy that was happening, of going through these realizations, of have to face myself and seeing these parts of myself and transforming in this metamorphosis from what I was to what I am. And there are times it's very scary, and I am sure you all relate, because I know you all have gone through this. If not once, more than once. And you understand what I'm saying. But what happens every time when you go through it and you break through? Every time you had a breakthrough, you've become more mighty. Your wings have opened up more. Every single time. And every single time after the breakthrough, you say to yourself, it was worth it. And you're thankful to existence for giving you that gift, for kicking your butt so hard, as painful as it is. Putting you in that challenge, forcing you to go through that transformation of recognizing this other part of you. And it gets more beautiful and more beautiful. It gets more beautiful and more beautiful. Yeah, every time you have to go through the fear and the death, because a part of you will die. You leave literally, in an etheric world you leave an aspect of yourself behind every single time because it dies and a new you is born. And yeah, that process is very scary and frightening. But then you enter into this new level of consciousness that you're more beautiful. And that's what the return to love is. It's a journey, a lifetime journey in returning home to who we really are, to our very origin, and to live that and to embody that. But for that, you have to drop and go through the ugliness of yourself, whatever that is, whether it's an idea or it's an agenda, or it's a concept, it's a damage you've been inflicted to us in childhood, whatever that is, you just have to go through that and see it. And there is help here. That's the beauty of it. You're not alone. There is help around us. We're always guided on this process. And that's what we're signed up for. You have signed up for that, whether you like it or not. That's why you're here right now, listening to me. Anybody has any questions? It's okay. Oh wow, there's a bunch of chat. I didn't notice that my phone was blocking.
Sandra has a lot of problems. She's been sharing some things, but I told her she has a specific question that she wants to ask. But she can. I'm eager to see if she wants to talk.
Yeah, sure. Can you unmute her? Yeah, sure.
Thank you for sharing all your struggles with us. I'm sorry you're going through a hard time.
Cheryl? Yes. Can you hear me? Yes. I can't hear you. You're far away from the microphone.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, can you say something? I can't hear you. I can't hear her.
Okay.
Is that better?
I mean, no, I can't. I still can't hear you. You sound like you're too far away or you're in a train station like that. No, it doesn't work, she said. Huh?
Does anyone else have any questions?
I didn't realize that there was, yeah, okay, that's her. Sending love and light. So that's the only one. Nobody has, do you guys have any questions? No questions? I guess I'm talking about something interesting because it seemed like you're all very attentive and listening. Should I continue? Yes, no? Yeah? Christopher, you have a question? Or that was a yes? No. Reza, you're very quiet. What's happening with you?
Zarathustra, you're addressing a very important subject today. It's very helpful. But I think that what you're addressing will help Cheryl. So can you just read her question and maybe you elaborate a little bit? That would be helpful to everyone as well.
Addressing who? I didn't hear the first part of what you said.
I said that you're addressing a question, some questions for Cheryl. She has got some question that I think that you can help her very much, and that will help everybody also to understand it. So today, the subject is wonderful.
Okay, well, thank you. You mean addressing Cheryl's question, right?
That's right.
She doesn't, Sherry read all the stuff she wrote to us. She's not asking a question. She's sharing some of her challenges. Yeah. So.
And I told her she's not listening to what you're saying because she's typing a lot of questions. I told her she needs to listen. Because you're saying the answers to what you need.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, speak again. I can't hear you.
I don't know why my mic is not working. It keeps going down.
Okay, I can hear you better now. Go ahead.
I came here to talk to you. I don't mean to yell, but my mic is not working.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. I have gone through a lot in my life, and right now my body is in massive chronic pain, and I gave up. Literally, I gave up. I overdosed 4 years ago, and they brought me back, and nothing seems to be right in my life. I don't see a vision for my life. I don't see, I ran out of faith. I ran out of hope because of the fact of all these things that I went through. And I gave up. I gave up on life. I gave up on love. I gave up on it all. And for 4 years, I have been struggling, and I'm just basically surviving and existing. I'm not living because I'm in so much chronic pain now that I am like homebound. Everywhere I turn to ask for help where I'm living, I'm getting turned down, or people don't want to be around me, or they say I'm very negative. And I applied for home care 4 times and they denied me. And I live alone. I had to get on Social Security, which I get $1,000 a month, and I'm all by myself doing everything. And I want to ask you, what does a person do in this particular situation?
Okay. Well, what was your relationship with your parents? Are you there?
My mother was doing the best she could. My father was killed when I was 10 years old.
Okay. And then up to what age did you grow up with your mother?
I grew up with my mother until I was 18, and then on the weekends, I went back to my grandmother on the weekends, and my grandmother died when I was 16.
And then what happened to your mother?
My mother is still alive. She moved to Florida, but she had to work very hard to raise us 5 kids. So I basically, you can say, grew up on the street.
Grew up on the street, you said?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So your dad passed away when you were 10 years old in an accident.
Yes.
Then you were sent to your grandma. Was it willingly you went to your grandma, or you were forced to do it?
Willingly.
Okay. Do you have any brothers, sisters?
I have 3 brothers and 1 sister, but we don't talk today anymore.
Right. Okay. So, and then the one woman, what was your relationship with your grandmother? Did you really get close with her?
She was very religious woman. I adored her, and I loved being with her on the weekends. And when she died when I was 16 years old, it was very troubling to me.
Right. Okay. So, and then when did you get on this spiritual path of becoming a seeker and looking for answers?
through right now?
No, I mean you're looking for some answers to life of what to do, how to free yourself from suffering. Am I correct? I mean, both physically and emotionally. Am I right?
Yes, and
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
know how to regain my faith and have hope in the will.
Right. Right. So when did you get on this path? Was it that your body broke down and it forced you to do it, or it happened because of life experiences from childhood? When did you really consciously become a spiritual seeker?
In 2008, I lost
In
my
2000. What happened in 2008 for you to come on this path?
I lost my business, my computer business, and my fourth ex cheated on me.
Say that again. I didn't hear you. Your business and what?
My fourth ex cheated on me.
Your partner.
Yes.
Romantic partner?
Yes, he was my fourth ex. Fourth.
Oh,
Ex.
fourth egg. Right. Right. Okay. So then this situation forced you to start questioning why you're here, what you're doing, why is this happening to you, and how can you help yourself to get out of suffering.
I overdosed.
Okay, overdose. All right. So that forced you to start questioning things, right?
Yes.
Right. So after that, after losing your partner and your business, so obviously you hit the rock bottom and then you overdosed. And for some reason, the grace, you weren't meant to leave, and you lived. And obviously you're here now. And what is the driving force in you that encourages you to stay alive?
Good question.
Have you asked yourself that question?
I am scared and I have a lot of fear that after I overdose, I don't want to die. I want to live, but I don't know how to live with this much chronic pain physically and be alone and have to live on $1,000 a month right now. And I lost my
Right. Right. And when you say these physical pains, what sort of physical pains? What's going on?
My intercostal muscles in my chest and in my back are ripping and tearing inside me.
Okay. So, Cheryl, do you do any kind of form of meditations or healing, self-healing work?
I have, for 4 years, I have had extreme counseling. They come to my house every day.
Okay. But do you do any kind of meditations?
I have been recently going to YouTube, trying to do the binary clips on YouTube.
Right. Right.
It's a bitch.
Right. And what do you think is the main, if you would have to set a few reasons or a few lessons in this life that you need to realize, what do you think is the main reason, or what is it you need to learn? Do you feel like, what is it that you must experience that this is happening to you?
I feel as though the lesson I'm learning right now is I'm not immortal.
Being what?
I'm not immortal. I'm just a human being.
Right. So you mean the lesson of what is happening in your life is basically life wants to tell you that at one point you're going to die. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, don't you think at one point everybody's going to die?
That's what everybody says to me.
Right. I mean, that's what it appears to be. So, but I think there's more than that, Cheryl. I think you're being on the surface. You're not really looking at it deeper. There is something else. Can you look a little bit deeper inside? What is it that you're not looking at, or it's not being revealed yet? And I'm not saying you're doing something wrong or blaming you or anything, not at all. But what do you think life, besides the fact that you're mortal and you're going to terminate at one point, what else? What is it that is being missing here, is not being seen?
Well, I have been alone for 10 years.
You've been what?
I have been alone for 10 years. Alone.
Okay. Okay. So, go ahead, I'm listening.
I think growing up with my grandmother and being very religious, and then having a spiritual intervention when I was 24 years old, made me feel as though people that I was in relationships with were not of or from God, and that I feel as though I should have been more forgiven, or I don't know. I'm really searching deep here what is happening to me.
Right. Okay. This is what I would like you to do, is between now and next week when we're having the academy, I would like you to narrow down. Maybe you want to start with 5 things and narrow it down to one thing. Start with 5, right? 5 things that comes into your mind that existence is trying to show you, these things that you keep missing and you don't see it, and the story gets repeated, because this is very much the same story being repeated over and over again. Is that your dad passed away when you were 10 years old, so definitely you felt left out and got abandoned. Then you couldn't live with your mom for whatever reason, and you live with your grandmother, so you have to leave your mom and be with your grandmother, and then she passes away, so you're abandoned again, you're left out. Then as time goes on, you said you had 4 partners, or been married 4 times, or 4 major relationships that you've been in some sort of partnership, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And all of them ended, with the last one ending in 2008. That ended. You lost your business and you almost died. So I would like you to take this week and write down for yourself 5 different reasons or things that life is trying to communicate with you. Because I get the feeling that you are sharp and you're smart and you have vitality and you're not that old, and there's time to work on yourself and to flip the switch. And I don't get the feeling like you've lost your mind and things don't make sense. And I don't get the feeling that you're not sincere enough. So I get the feeling that you want the answer and you're hanging in there because of that. So take your time and reflect back very honestly and write 5 different things that you feel life is trying to teach you. And then see if you can narrow it down to 1 thing. Or if not, all the 5, if not 3. And next week, come back and bring them to me.
Okay.
And we go from there.
What date?
Okay?
What date and time?
Every Tuesday from 10 in the morning, California, till 10 to 11:30. Because right now I went over, it's 11:35. And normally we go over a little bit. So we've come to the end of our webinar session. So, and I have a feeling that getting into this with you, it's going to be more than a few minutes. So, and I don't want to brush it over. So you just sit and look back and see what is life trying to show you that you get left out and left behind by situations and by people. What is it you need to learn? What is it life is trying to communicate with you? And this is not an accident that this was the subject of my conversation today. So this is pure divine synchronicity that you brought up your concerns. And we're talking about everything we're talking about right now. So I would like you to come back next week. You're welcome to join us. And we'll get into this and I'll help you to see it. Okay?
Thank you very much.
And we're everybody, yeah, you're welcome. And for everyone else too, is why don't we make this our homework? That why don't we spend this week and looking within to find the one thing that life, in your life, is trying to teach you. This one thing. If you can't, you have a hard time narrowing it down to 1, start with 5, and then narrow it down to 3 and 1. And we talk about this next week. How's that?
That
Yeah.
sounds good. I want to say I'm on the East Coast, so is it 1:30 that I should be here?
I mean, the same time.
3 hours ahead.
Same time as right now. You're 3 hours ahead of us.
1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m.
Yes, it's from 1 p.m. your time to 2:30 p.m.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's nice to meet you. I look forward to seeing you next week. And I look forward to seeing all of you next week. Thank you for joining. Also, we're going to put out our schedule for the academy for February, and it's pretty much clear. So I see that we're going to have 4 or 5 Tuesdays, same time on Tuesdays. So I look forward to seeing you all next week. God bless you. Take care. And if you have any questions that you want us to talk about, just write it to us. Keep in mind that I'm going to be at Conscious Life Expo. I have 4 events from February 9th to 12th. The expo is the February 9th, 10th, and 11th. So, and then February 12th, which is Monday, is going to be a post-conference workshop that I have. But for those of you who are interested to come to my transformational shamanic group healing event, that's going to be on Saturday, February 10th from 2 to 3:30 at LAX Hilton. So other than that, I will have a few more events in Los Angeles. I'm going to have a free talk. That's going to be on February 18th on Sunday afternoon. That is open to everyone. And that's going to be here in LA, and you're welcome to come. It's going to be a 2.5-hour talk. And then followed by that is going to be on Sunday, February 25th. There's going to be another transformational shamanic group healing event. And on March 2nd, I start my healing training program here in Los Angeles. March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is level 1, and March 5th and 6th is level 2 of the healing training program here in Los Angeles. So everything is posted on Facebook and also on my website, and my website is Zarathustra.tv. Sending you lots of love and light, and thank you for joining me. Until next week. Namaste. God bless you.